You see, we are all connected through the holy body. When you need only accept the sacred gift. Christ.
Whoa.
Like she did.
Who's he?
Temperance, child.
Aki looks good.
I'm taking the liberty of preparing some entertainment for you. The entertainment. Without further ado,
Oh man,
the gallant
Las
knight
Vegas looks way worse than the original. Salazar, I know that laugh.
Get you for you. Move.
And then there's Lewis. He looks pretty good too.
Always like this with you. How about you
Oh,
open fire
gigantic.
instead of your mouth?
Chainsaw guy, that one never gets old.
Long time no see.
Krauser.
Why?
Like a nice to have.
You can't save her. You can't save anyone.
What's gonna happen to me?
We gotta keep moving forward.
Yay.
Beat this. Together.
Thanks.
Gotta get some encouragement, right?
Pantha. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea. You gotta hurt yourself.
Okay, that was pretty good. It sounds like helicopter guy. It sounds like that is Lewis gonna be a part of the journey with Leon? It looks like he is then.
Yes, the time has come.
I'm guessing that guy is Sadler.
I'm gonna get you home safe.
Boss fight, the Krauser.
Ready to die, Boogie. Exalt all, Leon,
There you go.
and let it be so. This time, it has to be different.
What is that?
Well, now, time to cause some
Of course, the Mercenaries DLC. Of course. March 24th. Special demo coming soon. Of course, special demo for, to see what the game looks like, and then once the game comes out, ready to go. Now that was some trailer. Like, it was just throwing you all this and that all in one, like just giving us exactly what we are expecting to see in the game. Like, we're already like, okay, like, can you give us more? And it did. But before I start off giving you my review of the trailer, first of all, hello here, Cat Eyes here. Welcome back to my gaming channel. If you guys are new to my channel, then please hit that subscribe button in the corner where my fingers are pointing at, right here in the corner over here of this video. You can also hit the subscribe link down in the description as well. And if you want, you can follow all of my social media as well down in the description as well. You got it? Good? All right. So, that trailer, starting it just right away was just like giving us what we're expecting to see in the game. Like, first off, saw Ashley, like, she looks pretty good. Like, okay, first off, before I started thinking about doing reaction videos on my gaming channel, I saw the very first trailer of Resident Evil 4 Remake, and it's like, okay, like, there's gonna be some difference, but like, okay, Leon, he's on his mission to save Ashley Graham, the president's daughter, and it's like, Ashley, she looks way different than the original. And like Lewis too, like, he looks way, way, way different in the original. Like, he looks hot in the remake, like. But other than that, like, okay, we see Leon, fighting the Ganados, and yeah, just pretty much giving us, a taste what the remake would look like. And then now now this trailer came out, Resident Evil 4 Remake State of Play. Like, I guess maybe this is like the third and final trailer of Resident Evil 4 Remake since the game that showed in the end that is coming out on March 24th. And like, it looks pretty good. Like, the Last Apocalypse looks way, way, like, way deadlier, way worse looking than the original. And like, the environment of what the castle, like, it looks way like haunting. And also, we're seeing like very, very familiar characters we see in the original. Like, we didn't see Salazar, but I heard his laugh, and like right away I knew, like, that's Salazar. And like, that guy in the very beginning who was standing right next to Leon, like, wait, who was that? And it's like, that's probably Sadler. He looks way different than he looks way different than the original, because he has a hood over he has a hood over his head. But here, like, you're seeing like he looks more zombified, because in the original he looked like human, but you can see like all like he has the last plagas in him, but he looked like human in the original, but in here in the remake he looks way more zombified. But other than that, Ashley, she looks great. And again, Lewis, like, he looks way different than the original, and he looks good. And also, we see like the chainsaw guy. We see El Gigante. Ugh, he looks way scarier than the original. And what else? We didn't see the other monsters that we saw in the original, but El Gigante was enough for us. And okay, we know what to expect with the other monsters. And now we see Ada, of course, and then there's Krauser, like, yeah, a long-time friend that Leon thought was dead. And no, turned out he's not dead. Unless, yeah, he did die, and then someone found him and infected him with the last plagas, and he's obsessed with power and following Sadler's orders, and just gonna do whatever it takes, to kill Leon and also Ada, and to get what he wants. And yeah, pretty much the remake looks amazing, and I just can't wait till it comes out. And I'm just gonna say this, and it's gonna shock you guys, I know, but I have never played any of the Resident Evil games. Yes, I know, shocking. So before I start off explaining, please don't give me any hate on me not playing any of the Resident Evil games. I mean, the very first Resident Evil game came out in 1996. I wasn't even born. I was born in 2000, so I was not even born when the first Resident Evil game came out. And then there was the others, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 2, 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and then Resident Evil 4, the original, came out in 2005. And then there's 6, 7, 8, and then there's the remake of 2 and 3, and now this one, Resident Evil 4 Remake. So even though I never played any of the Resident Evil games, I still I've seen all the walkthroughs. I've seen the walkthroughs of all the games. I know the story. I know the characters: Leon, Chris, Claire, Ada, Krauser, Sheva, Chris. I don't know if I mentioned him. Chris, which is Claire's brother. And then there was Pierce. Like, I'm mentioning other characters from previous Resident Evil games, like Helena and Pierce. They were from Resident Evil 6. So like they were just like new characters that just added in for the game. Also like Chev and Resident Evil 5, but like the very main characters that I just mentioned, Leon, Claire, Chris, like that they dealt with with this whole zombie thing from the very beginning of Raccoon City. And also Ada. There was also Albert Wesker, which he was a good guy, but then he turned bad because like I remember he got killed, but then someone infected him with the virus and it gave him superpowers. Like somehow he's immune, but he took advantage of his antibodies. Like instead of using his antibodies to save the world, he decided to use it for power. And then Jake, I cannot forget about him, Jake Mueller, which turns out to be Albert Wesker's son, which makes me still wonder, okay, who was the mom? Like, who did he sleep with? And like, he had a son that he never knew he had, named Jake Mueller, which he has antibodies for the C virus they were dealing with in Resident Evil 6. And like, of course, Jake lets the government use his use his antibodies to save the world, and like Jake is gonna make up for the mistakes his father made in the past. And of course, I cannot forget Sherry Birkin, the little girl from the very beginning of Resident Evil in Raccoon City, where like both her parents were scientists. They were making the G virus. Her dad was trying to take his G virus with him because Umbrella was trying to take it from him, or like take the G virus along with the doctor, but he was gonna let that happen, so he tried to kill them. But then the Umbrella Corporation guards couldn't let that happen, so they killed him and took the G virus with them. And then William Birkin, Sherry's father, injected himself with the G virus, and he turned into this big nasty monster. Like all here was like mutated, and he had this big eyeball, and then every time when you kill him, he mutates worse and worse. I think there was like 5 levels of his mutation. Like the very last, like he was just like a big blob, and like a big eyeball in the middle, and finally killing him once and for all. Like, Jesus Christ. But other than that, yeah, so see, even though I never played any of the games, I watch all the walkthroughs. I know the story of each and every one of the video games. And I know all of the characters. Oh man, how could I forget about Barry? Like from the Resident Evil Revelations, along with his daughter Myra. You see, I remember all the characters as I know the history. I know the history of Resident Evil basically, and also I cannot forget. I also know I've also seen the movies of Resident Evil. The very first movie of Resident Evil came out in 2002. I was only 2 years old at the time when it came out, and then there's 6 movies of Resident Evil. And right when I was older enough, to like know about Resident Evil, I watched all of them. And like how I got into how I got into and watching getting into Resident Evil is because of my dad. He has all of the games, and like I think when I was like maybe 11 or 12 years old, I saw him playing Resident Evil 4, and by far Resident Evil 4 is literally like my favorite Resident Evil game. Like all the Resident Evil games are good, but Resident Evil 4 is my favorite personally. And since I know that Resident Evil 4 remake was gonna be in making, because they did a remake for 2 and 3, so like of course they're gonna do a remake for 4, and I was just looking forward to it, and here it is, and I can't wait when it comes out for me to see it. So yeah, like even though like I never played any of it, I still watch the walkthroughs and like get to know like what is going on and all of that. And also like even like Resident Evil 7 and 8, even though only one character we know was Chris, but Resident Evil 7 and 8 was dealing with Ethan Winters, and like it wasn't really so bad. It's like we're so used to characters that we know from the old Resident Evil games, but dealing with a new story, hearing a new story, and playing a new story of Resident Evil with a whole different character was like really not so bad. Like, I mean, Ethan Winters, he got himself into the situation of the mole because of his wife, Mia Winters, who he thought was dead. But then he got like a video call from her, like, oh, like I'm alive and well, I'm in Louisiana, come get me. But that evil little girl Evelyn, or I would say little girl, I don't know, she was made like from a tube, so girl named Evelyn manipulated Mia into calling Ethan, so like make Ethan part of her family. And it's like, man, Ethan got himself in a bad situation because of Evelyn. And like, I mean, like Mia should have told Ethan in the first place what she was doing, but it's like, secrets with the government and all that, what they make you do and all that. So, but yeah, like Ethan went into the baker's house. He saw all like the dead, well, yeah, he saw like a few dead bodies and like the rotten food and everything. So it's like at that point, if I was him, I would have left already. But no, he went there, to find Mia, his wife, who he thought was dead. And then right when he encountered her, like she had no memory of what happened to her, and like he was just confused himself, like, okay, like what is going on? And then he attacked her, Mia attacked him, and like, okay, like this is Mia, but like something inside of her, like the virus, the mold, is making her this way. It's Evelyn. And like right when Jack came out of nowhere and knocked Ethan out, well, what I thought, he knocked Ethan out, he actually killed Ethan. And like, oh my god, that was so shocking, finding out in Resident Evil 8 that turns out Ethan died when Jack stomped him on the head. And like the mold, it revived Ethan and gave him special powers, basically healing powers. And it's like every time you, like, no matter how many times you hurt him, he heals. but like, I guess, you know, I guess all like him getting hurt really, I don't know, I guess overwhelmed his body too much in the mold. Like Ethan was dying in the process, and well, you know, he was trying to save his daughter Rose in Resident Evil 8. It's like, man, it's like Ethan cannot catch a break. It's like after Luciano 3 years, it's like, okay, I mean 3 years, I mean they was trying to have a normal life, and they did, but you know, like them having like the mold in their body, they still got to deal with the damn government. Is like, oh Jesus. It's like, I guess like Ethan never really got a break right there. It's like he did get a break from having a family with Mia, but at the same time, it's like, you know, he still got to, you know, work with the government, be and like train fighting and all that, and like, but like Ethan never gave up. Like no matter how many times he got hurt, he still was willing, you know, to do whatever it takes to save his daughter Rose, and he did. And then there was a DLC of Rose wanting to get rid of, you know, her powers, because like, like people at school were calling her a freak, and like she just wanted to become normal. And I don't blame her, because I mean, it's like, I didn't ask for this kind of thing. And like Miranda, she just kept saying about like, oh, like she wants her daughter back, and like Rose was the perfect vessel. And it's like, hey, I was so glad that like Ethan was inside that mega site. A mega site is something like, it like holds memories of all like the people who died. So like when like they mentioned that, it's like, oh my god, so like maybe Ethan could be in there. Like I straight up, you know, like thought of that, and like I was right. Like thank you. Like he was being like an angel, a guardian angel to Rose. And right when, you know, she saw who, you know, her guardian angel was, well, he named himself, Ethan named himself Michael. And right when, you know, he showed himself, like, oh my god, my dad, he's been protecting me all this time. And like even in death, Ethan is still trying to protect his family no matter what. Like I have full respect for Ethan. Like I'm still sad to this day that he died, but like he really, you know, deserved, you know, like he really, you know, I just really wish, you know, he stayed alive and have, you know, he to see his daughter grow up and everything. But yeah, like he wasn't gonna let Miranda take Rose. And even though like Rose, you know, even though Rose was able, you know, to get her like powers away, she wasn't like, she didn't want to lose her dad. I mean, like he's dead, but like, okay, I guess maybe with her powers she can communicate with her dad in some way. So like she got them back, killed Miranda once and finally for all. And like, yeah, so she sacrificed everything what she went through to get rid of her powers, to gain them back, to save her dad. And I guess, you know, keep a memory of him with her. She even has, you know, his wedding ring. And she went to his grave, you know, putting down, you know, some flowers. And then there was those guys in the suits, and like they were even making one was making a joke, like, you know, calling her Evelyn. It's like, dude, don't you dare compare Rose to Evelyn. Like, don't ever you say that. Like, really? And like, I like that at least, you know, he made up the mistake for calling Rose Evelyn by saying like, you're like him, you know? And she said, I know. She knows she's exactly like her dad. I really like that. And that is technically the end of Ethan's story. So, like that's the end of his story. So like, I don't know if they're like gonna keep still making stories involving with the Winters family, but heading next, since, you know, they're already putting out trailers for Resident Evil 4 Remake. We've seen, you know, what day is coming out. So I just can't wait what other works they are working on. So yeah. So yeah, so I pretty much really explained everything of what I know about Resident Evil, because, you know, like, even though I never played any of the games, I still know the history of it. I mean, look, I even have the book. Oh, to this technically my dad's, but then he gave it to me because I guess, you know, he knows like maybe someday when I get the game with my PlayStation, I guess, you know, like this will help me, you know, to like where to go. Well, I mean, this is like this is basically a cheap book, really, but like it just basically like explains to you on like where to go, like where to find the treasures, and explaining to you like what monsters you'll be encountering. Like, okay, let's see. It's an old book. I mean, some of the pages are ripped out. Very sorry. I'm trying to keep it in very good condition, but things don't last forever, you know. But it's so nice having this book. Like, okay, this one for example, right here, they say Gorador, like the game takes place in Spain, so like basically all of, you know, the monsters' names are going to be like in Spanish. So like this one is Gorador, and you see like the picture correctly what it looks like. Yeah. And it explains to you, like, you know, like what, like right here it says the term Gorado means man with claws and refers to gigantic men in gladiator-like armor with retractable tri-blade claws. Gorados are practically blind, capable of seeing only within a 2-foot radius in front of itself. They seek out their victims by sound. Therefore, if Leon stays some distance back from a Gorado and walks instead of runs, there is a great chance the creature may not be able to locate him. So yeah, and it basically tells you know what its weak spot is, like basically how to kill it and all that. And like I really like that. And even like here it shows you like what characters you'll be encountering in the game. So of course there's Leon, Luis, Victoris Mendez, that big guy that Luis calls the big cheese. And then there's Ada, Krauser, Ashley, Sadler, Salazar, all those people. And yeah. So you see, I am a true Resident Evil fan and always will be. So just giving you guys, you know, like a heads up, like I'm a true fan of Resident Evil and always will be. I never play any of the games, but I know its history. And who knows, maybe someday I will play all the games, like whether I have the time, but for now I don't. And hopefully when I do, I'll try to play all of the Resident Evil games for you guys. But until then, I'm still gonna follow all the games, watch all the walkthroughs, see like what is going on, see if there's anything new I need to know, and yeah, just really looking forward, you know, to seeing Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I just love Resident Evil 4 the original, and I just can't wait to see when Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out. So yeah, and oh my god, how can I forget about Jill Valentine? Jesus Christ. You see, there are so many characters. It's like, you just gotta remember, like, who was in all of Resident Evil. But, like, yes, Jill, Claire, Chris, Leon, Hunnigan, Ada, Krauser, see, there's just so many, but I know all of them. It's just, like, there's just so many. But like other than that, yeah, I just want to give it out to you guys that once you know when this trailer came out today, like I right away, you know, told myself, okay, I'm of course gonna make a reaction trailer for you guys, and once I've done it, I'm gonna give my review to you guys, giving you my opinion and just tell you straight up that like, hey, I never played any of the games, but I know its history and I'm a true Resident Evil fan, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing my reaction of watching the trailer, and I hope you guys enjoy giving you guys my review, my opinion about the trailer, and also giving you guys, you know, basically a bit of everything of what I know about Resident Evil. And if you did, please hit that like button, comment down below what you think, and of course, hit that subscribe button in the corner where my fingers are pointing at right here. You can even hit the subscribe link in the description below. And if you want, hit all my social media down in the description below. And that is it. And I think, yes, I'm going to be doing another The Last of Us walkthrough tomorrow, where Ellie and Joel go meet Tommy at Jackson. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Have a good night, everybody. Cat eyes. Peace.